It looks good though. I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, that feels different.
It looks very pretty. You just have to adjust to do your job.
There's nowhere to hide. I can't hide. I have so much hair to hide behind.
It's like 2 acres. Pretty.
Yeah, I was doing some good.
So, good. You should have got permission, but I guess we still I bet it's cool for the summer.
It is. I've never had it before. Like I've never cut my hair before, so it's definitely an adjustment. I thought maybe I overdid it, and I was like, I can't undo what I
It looks really good.
Thank you.
You look really sexy.
It's definitely short. I mean, I had too much like dyed hair, so the braid is kind of able to like this way.
It looks really thick. It looks thicker than
It is because I feel like it was just the power thing. Because I was older, I bleached a lot and dyed it.
very good.
Thank you.
I've decided to be happy. I've decided to be glad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I've decided to let go of all this pain tonight. I've decided to let go of all these demons inside. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I know I don't need more. I've got what I came for. I've decided to be open to that little voice inside, telling me I'm beautiful. It's okay to be alive. I've decided to be kinder to myself when I feel sad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I
Thank you very much. Welcome to this gathering hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Whether you are here in person or online, we are so glad that you're joining with us today. My name is John, and I'll be your service associate today. As a reminder, please double check these noise-making devices and set them on silent or vibrate, please, so we can be fully present with one another here today. This service is being live streamed. If this large room isn't comfortable for you, you can go to the Jose Ballou Lounge, which is next to the entrance of this building, to watch the service live streamed there. We are a welcoming congregation, whoever you are, however you identify, wherever you come from, and whoever you love, you are welcome here. Our Sunday services are different each week so that we can honor and learn from our wide array of traditions and beliefs. Today, our speaker is Sonja Byrd. She is going to speak with us today about arts for all of Kentucky. Welcome, Sonja. It's good to have you back. As we enter into this time of lighting the chalice and sharing readings, which Sonja will do for us, Unitarian Universalists have the flaming chalice as a symbol of the light of learning and the love of our community. As our congregation's chalice is lit, we invite you to light your own chalice at home. This morning, Sonja, I invite you to the stage.
Good morning. Our opening words are by Reverend Tess Baumberger. We gather as a community of spiritual seekers, always ready to awaken each other's curiosity in this beautiful, challenging, and complex world. May we enter our worship today with open minds and warm hearts, and spirits entranced with possibility of healing, of hope, of transformation, of justice. Come, let us worship.
And now, if you would, please join together in singing Rise Up, O Flame. And now, as you're willing and able, I invite you to rise up in body or spirit as we sing together De Caloris. It's number 305. The words should be on the screen. If not, in the gray hymnal, yes, you'll have options. Do we have a song leader this morning? Anybody? Yes, Michelle's going to help us out here. Thank you, everyone. And as is our tradition, we join in, as you're willing and care to, with a reading each week. This week it is the Covenant, and you can join in together, the words of which are on the screen. We promise to live in harmony and civility with awareness, tolerance, acceptance, celebration of diversity. We commit ourselves to enthusiastic support of our fellowship and of the Unitarian Universalist tradition through our individual gifts and talents. And now we'll sing the children out. Do we have any today? Yes, okay. Can you give us a note, please? Now we will have a few moments for meditation, reflection, and prayer. The singing bowl will lead us into silence. After the silence, you're invited to join in the song Spirit of Life, which is number 123 in the gray hymnal. The words will also be on the screen. As mentioned earlier, Unitarian Universalists have a wide array of beliefs, and the speakers at our Sunday services come from many traditions. With us today to share her thoughts is Sonja. Sonja Byrd moved to Bowling Green in 1997 after she and her future husband, Chris Byrd, Both graduated from Colorado State University. They married in 1998, the year of the hailstorm, at the 1869 Shaker Tavern. They have since raised 3 children. For those of you who remember the little Byrds at this church, Hattie is now 25, living and working in Bowling Green. Thorin is 22, just graduated from WKU, and is moving to Louisville for work. And Sophie is 19 and just finished her first year at Eastern Kentucky University. The Byrds were active here in this congregation from 2007 to 2015. Sonja was pressed into service as part of the Children's Religious Exploration Program, with Sophie ever present on her hip. Sonja was elected to the board of directors in 2011, just after the first flooding of the new building, and was president for the 2012-13 church year. She still has all the emails. Sonja has been with the Arts for All Kentucky for 14 years now. After former executive director Delaire Rowe, Delaire's with us today, and we'll hear a full critique afterwards, Delaire. After former executive director Delaire Rowe invited Sonja to combine her 2 passions of art and serving adults with developmental disabilities. It continues to be one of the most rewarding ways for her to serve an often overlooked part of our community. Please welcome to the stage Sonja Byrd.
Thank you, John. John was right ahead of me through the board, and he and some other folks really were a tremendous help in some challenging years. I'm gonna set a timer because I could talk about this stuff for a long time. And okay, yes. And the clicker. We didn't have this. I was definitely here for the low-tech UU. So I will try to manage all that. First, thank you to Laura McGee. I know she's traveling, but she was the one, I believe, that suggested us for a third Sunday. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Janine, for helping me out and getting my slides in here and welcoming me again. Yeah, okay. So we do a lot of work with few people. So these are the extent of the employees of Arts for All Kentucky. Katie is our 3rd director. She came in after Delaire retired. And I'm the program's assistant. The rest of the folks that help us do all of the great work that we do are contractors. These are our art teachers that go out and do those programs into the schools and the communities. But that's it for people on payroll there. And Katie's based out of Murray, but she's here quite often. And the Brad region is kind of my specialty, although I get outside of that a little bit. Our mission, I think, significantly aligns with UU principles. Right at the top, the inherent worth and dignity of everyone. And so we're doing that specifically for adults and children with disabilities in regards to not just access, but participation in the arts. I think it really makes a lot of sense for me to be here in several ways. The second principle, equity and compassion, obviously also significantly figures into this. I'm supposed to not look backwards, that's why they're here. So we've got, I think, a really neat history. Arts for All Kentucky used to be, if you're familiar, very special arts, and that's how it started in 1987. So some of you may know it from that name. And this was an original, a Kennedy nonprofit. A lot of the Kennedy children of that generation, that's like your Special Olympics, your Peace Corps. So Jean Kennedy Smith, the youngest of those siblings, this was her nonprofit that she established, Very Special Arts. We are still a contractor with the Kennedy Center, but we have updated the name a number of years ago just to modernize the language. And so that's how we've come to be Arts for All Kentucky. There are program sheets. There were some with the greeters, and then I left some on the table. But for those of you that this particularly makes sense to review, let me know. There should be plenty available. But our programs break down into these categories here. Educational programs, so those are things that are in the school. So a majority of what we do is in that K through 12 age group. We're funded by the Kentucky Department of Education for that group of children, Office of Special Education and Early Learning. And we'll show a little bit about those specific. And then community programs. So we're not a place. A lot of people ask, where can we come? We've had places in the past. We do not have places now. So we're partnering with schools, libraries, parks, art guilds, other art orgs. Adult programs, and this is my specialty. These are these folks that are past high school. They've graduated out. And I'm significantly in the day programs. These are for the folks that may not be vocationally bound, and you can often find them in the day programs. I mean, Warren County alone must have a dozen of these programs now. So I do a lot of work in those. And then professional learning. We give art tips to special education teachers, and we give tips for working with kids with disabilities to art teachers. So that's kind of those two clumps in our little niche. Specifically something called Universal Design for Learning. And the breakdown on this is learning multiple means of representation, action and expression, and engagement. So it's just making spaces for a variety of people to do and participate in the arts. It's so you. It's extremely you. Like, you do you, and we'll figure out how to love you and help you create in the way that's best for you. So this is a neat program where perhaps a solitary child could participate in. We do this every year. It's called the Student Traveling Exhibition, and we do a call for art, largely via our social media. I'd be remiss if I didn't say check out our Facebook page, our Instagram. We've got all that. But we curate about 30 pieces from children with disabilities across the state, and then we put together a show, and then it travels around, and we do education pieces with that. And for the last 2 years, we've added audio description to them via QR code too. So we're always looking even to take the great art that we're doing, but make it accessible to other folks, perhaps low vision, those type of things. So we're really excited to have made that step with that. But you can have just one single child do that instead of like a whole school or a whole class. And arts inclusion, we've got local schools for you guys too. And arts inclusion is an example of one of our school programs. It's kind of like a mini arts in residency, where a school will match up with one of our teaching artists. You can do visual art, dance, music, storytelling, theater, and make usually about a week-long program in those schools. And it can be inclusive in the schools. We can have those peers that don't have any diagnosed disabilities anyway. But here's an example of one we did in South Warren here. Oh, important piece for your teachers, if you know teachers. We provide the money for this. That's really big thing. So we pay that teacher, and we pay our teachers very well. We're very proud of that. So we have the funding for the teacher and the supplies for that program. So that's good to know. We're getting into schools not as much in this region, but in western and far eastern Kentucky that don't have any art anymore. They don't have art, they don't have music, none of that. So it becomes even more and more critical to bring these in. Some more South Warren students doing some great 3D stuff there. They're making tiles. I believe they ended up doing a whole tile wall after those got done. Check my timer here. All right, here's some kiddos. So this is at Kids Club Bowling Green. Is anybody familiar with Kids Club? This is some of our most fragile students. Kids Club is a prescribed pediatric extended care facility. That means that these are kids that are likely on Medicaid with their disability, and they have all the nurses, all that kind of stuff. And we come in and we, in particular, add summer programming to these kids. So we'll do some music, some visual arts, and like I said, these are kids that are extremely fragile, vulnerable, and we're so glad to be able to reach them with these programs. It's really neat, and I can't recommend them enough if you are a family or know somebody with a child with significant medical issues. They're terrific. Nope, still me. All right, side by side. Side by Side is a neat program where we do a series of skill building classes, and then the last thing the student does is collaborate with a community artist. And then we make a show and we put it up. And actually, our 2026 Side by Side show is up in the Kentucky Museum right now and be up for another month. So there's some lovely work up there. I brought one piece with me because, well, I'm just pushing still to keep real hands-on art everywhere. But this piece is called Sebastian's Hands. And this was our collaborative piece. I was his artist. So Sebastian was an elementary school fellow, very, very active, very busy, didn't stay in his seats. You could tell there was lots going on, but verbally he was echolalic. If you know that one, he'd just repeat whatever you said to him. Favorite color, red. Everything Sebastian did for these whole 5 Saturdays was red. So I knew going into this collaboration, it's going to be red. So, but he had great grasp of line. So the first thing we did, those are actually his hands, and he put them down and he Sharpied them. And I won't leave the mic, but I even showed him how to wrap it around the canvas, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So those are Sebastian's hands, and then my piece there was that background. But just a really neat experience for him, for me, and a kid that is significantly overlooked wherever they go in this town. Because you just, unless you have the training, you wouldn't know what to do with them. But those are Sebastian's hands, and I love taking that out. I think it's just very powerful. There we go. Okay, we've got Delaire in the slideshow. Oh, yep, this is the year from Sebastian. Yes, so the 26 version of this show is in the Garden Gallery at the Kentucky Museum, which they're a tremendous partner, and the museum is free. And it's just a tremendous resource in this town. So if you haven't been, or if you haven't been lately, I really recommend that. Okay, grown-ups. So I was, my first job was with life skills in this community. And I wasn't doing art. I don't have a degree in art. I was just working with folks with developmental disabilities in what is a sheltered workshop. They call it community habilitation for, but that's where I started, and how Delaire, I think, got the idea to ask me to combine the art that I got into later in life with that piece. But I love going and seeing my adults. This is at LifeWorks. Does anybody know the LifeWorks program at Western? This is folks that are usually young adults, college age-ish, and they do a lot of what it sounds like, getting them ready to go out and be in the community, hopefully vocationally, but also things like scheduling and hygiene and dating and transportation. I love getting over to there and talking to those young adults and bringing some art in for them. Again, a really neat resource that we have in this community. Okay, this is our artist registry. So this, again, and again, you can go to the website if you're interested. We keep a registry of adult artists with disabilities across Kentucky. And if they're a visual artist, we try to help make shows available. And then if they have a different type of art, try to connect them or provide ways for them to either enhance the art they're doing or get seen access out into the community. Two of these are local. The portrait here is by Michael Dixon. He's a Bowling Green artist. And then this one is Deanna Christian, also a Bowling Green artist. And I forget the name of this lady. That is, if you can see, it's textiles. Her work is stunning, and they're great big pieces. So this is a small but a neat thing for adult artists with disabilities. Coming on down. Oh, did I go back one? There we go. There are lots of places to find out more about us. And then we have resources, more about universal design for learning, inclusive communication, accessibility. You can all read that. And contact information for any of us. Again, it's on that program sheet. Also the social media, we're easy to find on that. And I just want to thank you so much for thinking about us and listening to a little bit about what we do. And if there's any questions, I'd love to help you with those. Ready? Yes.
Basic question, but can you list all the different arts besides the visual arts?
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have visual. Oh, sorry. Yes. List the different arts. So generally speaking, you have visual arts, you have music, you have theater, you have dance, storytelling. We consider have an art. We have several storytelling artists. So I think, Delaire, am I missing any?
All art forms. I mean, you can go culinary arts, I think, at one point. So
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that Laura McGee is also participating in the Side by Side Club, and so she's another, UU artist who's participating in Armstrong and taking care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she's not here today, but one of our participating artists this year, Cora, it was her first year, and I've learned over the weekend that she's at least popped her head in over here too. She's in the studio with Laura, so that definitely makes sense. Anything else? Reach out with any questions, or if you think of somebody that would benefit from our services or programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonja. I know we've got the annual meeting right after this, but are you going to hang around for a few minutes as we're doing a turnaround? If anybody else has a question, maybe afterwards, and then she left the contact information up there as well. But again, thank you. It's good to know what's going on in our own backyard, literally. At this time, let me find out where we are in the service. Yes, invitation to membership. If you have questions about Unitarian Universalism or about joining this congregation, please speak with a member of our membership team. Do we have anybody here today? Yes, we have several hands here. And if you can't find one of them, just ask any of us and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. You can also email the church office. And on second Sundays after the service, you can join a Q&A answer session with our membership team at the Jose Ballou Lounge in this building. And with that, we will go into the offertory. And today's third Sunday collection will be for Arts for All Kentucky. And unless you designate your cash or checks otherwise, this was where it will go. If what you're putting in the plate today needs to go to your pledge, please make sure there's a note with it indicating such. Yes, ever so briefly, but yes. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. And there's still time after the service, even if you want to contribute as well. We thank you for these gifts. May we use them wisely in the service of our congregation and our community. And now it's time for some community news. Today's the annual meeting, as I mentioned earlier. After the service, we will be voting on members of the board of directors, the nominating committee, and the endowment committee, and we'll be hearing important information about the budget, the endowment fund, and plans for the future of UUCBG. Please plan on attending. The read and chat online book for May is Ursula K. Le Guin's novel, The Dispossessed, which is an examination of capitalism, ownership, and freedom of speech and conscience. Everyone is welcome to join in the Zoom gathering at 7:30 p.m. on this Friday, May 22nd. The link is in the newsletter and in the weekly updates. And as always, you can find more community news by reading the weekly email updates, the bulletin board right outside, and the hard copy monthly newsletter from the lobby if you don't receive it via email. The screen in the lobby also shows upcoming events, so it's good to glance at that. On our website, plus we now have Realm, which is the communication tool, and if you're interested more in what that is and you're not sure, check with the office or read about it in various communications that we have. And our final hymn, yes. Where Do We Come From? It's number 1003 in the teal hymnal, and the words should be on the screen as well. And Michelle, you're going to help us out. Thank you.
Yes.
It's in the teal book.
1003.
1003.
Oh, yeah. That might
It's
be
a
a little-
kind of round, and so we're going to start. We're going to go over each part singly, and then we'll have a couple sessions where you can just sing whichever part you'd like. It's a choose
That's
your own
oftentimes what we do anyway.
All righty, here's part 1. Here's part 2. Part 3. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Part 4. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? So let's put them together and just make some music. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? Where do
Our final reading is by Reverend Michelle Collins. Source of love and deep questioning, you move in the restless parts of us that ask, what else is true? Thank you for the spark that keeps us from going numb, for the inner tilt of the head and heart that reminds us to look again. Awaken in us a curiosity that is kind, not cruel, that seeks understanding rather than judgment, that can say, I don't know, without shame. When habit narrows our vision, widen it. When cynicism hardens our hearts, open them with wonder. Let our days be filled with small discoveries, and our lives shaped by learning that never ends. Amen, and blessed be.
We hope that you found this service meaningful. And we invite you to share your thoughts about today's service. You can comment at sundayservices.uucbg.org. For those of you who are here in person, there's a blue box in the lobby where you can leave suggestions and comments. You can also use the online form, and there's a link in our various forms of communication. Next Sunday, the speaker will be Reverend Peter Conley, Challenging Tradition. We look forward to it, Peter. We invite you to join us again as I say farewell to those of you online, either in person or, once again, online. Until then, be well and go in peace.